Hey, what's up everyone? I hope you all are doing absolutely fine. This is Rudraditya, and in this video I am going to give my full review of the Samsung Galaxy S23. Not Plus, not Ultra, just the regular, the tiny S23. Well, I was like that, hey, nobody is paying attention on S23 and S23 Plus, but I'm 100% sure that a lot of guys want to see the review of these phones as well, and not just the Ultra. So yeah, here is the review. So I have been using this phone from last 5 days. So if you want to know each and everything about this phone, then this video is right for you. So now, without wasting any time, let's start the video. Alright, so starting first with the build quality of this phone. Then it's outstanding and premium with glass sandwich design and aluminum frames. The build is solid and strong also, because you will get the latest Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 protection on both front and rear. Well, I have the cream color and I absolutely love this color, and I also like that it has matte finish, so it won't catches finger smudges, so that's also I liked. So it feels very good and premium. Well, it also has 3 other colors, green, black and lavender, and you can see all the colors in one frame, but my personal favorite is definitely the cream color. Well, talking more about the look, then this time Samsung has done an awesome job, because this time you will see the same rear design across the entire lineup, and especially those floating camera array which is present in S23 and S23 Plus also this time, same as the Ultra, which was not the case with last year's model. I mean, last year the S22 Ultra looked different as compared to S22 and S22 Plus. Well, not just the rear look, but color availability is also the same across all the models. So this is a very good move by Samsung. Well, overall I like the build quality and the look of the phone. From rear it's very minimalistic and premium, and from the front it is very modern looking. Now moving ahead, if we talk about the in-hand feel, then first thing, it's a very compact phone, so it feels very comfortable, and also it is a one-hand use phone, no doubt about that. Well, 6.1 inch is still a very decent display size, and I mean, I know that there are a lot of audience who don't prefer 6.6, 6.8 inch display sizes you used to see in like almost every single phones nowadays. So yeah, I mean, Samsung is still launching a 6.1 inch phone is really good, and it is more compact than the 6.1 inch iPhone 14 Pro Max, so that's also very appreciable. And this time Samsung gone with a boxier design, but it still doesn't feel very sharp like the iPhones. I mean, iPhone has very sharp feel in hand. I mean, if you look and hold the iPhone, then it feels very sharp because of the sharp edges. Although the S23 has also sharp edges, but the frames are a little bit thicker. It's not very flat, and because of that it fits perfectly into your palm and you doesn't feel that sharpness. So that's very good designing overall by Samsung. So that's why the in-hand feel enhanced, and it won't hurt your hand even after using the phone for long hours, thanks to the lightweight form factor. It just weighs 168 grams and it's a super comfortable and easy phone to use. You can also use this phone with one hand. I get the confidence while gripping the phone, and because of that I feel like that I really don't need to use a cover, because it fits perfectly into my palm, and I am in love with the build quality, design and the in-hand feel of S23. Now if we talk about the display, then of course you will get all those things which you will see in a flagship phone, except the resolution. You will only get Full HD Plus instead of 1440p. Well, that is just reserved for the S23 Ultra, not the S23 and S23 Plus. Well, apart from that, it has dynamic AMOLED display with 120Hz high refresh rate. HDR10 Plus is also there, and it has 1750 nits peak brightness, and also it has 6.1 inch display size with 19.5:9 aspect ratio. And talking about the screen to body ratio, then surprisingly it has 86.8% screen to body ratio only, but when you actually look at the phone, then you will feel like that it has more than 90% of screen to body ratio, because the bezels are very thin. Anyway, talking about the display quality, then again it's Samsung flagship, so yeah, even though it is Full HD Plus, the display, like the colors and everything, is just awesome. The viewing angles are excellent, and the visibility in outdoors is also amazing with 1750 nits peak brightness. It's not the brightest. I mean, the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max has 2000 nits peak brightness, so it's not the brightest display out there, but still more than enough. So I have no problem and no complaints with the display of the Samsung Galaxy S23. Alright, talking about the least refresh rate which you can get in the S23 is 24Hz. While watching the display, it will be between 24 to 60Hz, and while interacting with the interface, it will immediately switch the refresh rate to 120Hz. But even at AOD, where the refresh rate should be 1Hz, it's 24Hz, because that functionality, the LTPO 2.0, is available in S23 Ultra only. Alright, now it's time to talk about the battery. One very important thing, because in small phones, especially in Samsung phones, we saw some terrible battery performance in the past. But this time I am happy to report that this phone has improved a lot. Well, I will talk more about the battery performance. First, let's talk about the charging. So here you will get 25 watt wired charging max, whereas in S23 Plus and S23 Ultra you will get 45 watt wired charging. So that's a little bit of discrimination by Samsung for some unknown reasons. I mean, the colors are same, the designs are same, the processors are same, but still the charging is not same. And also, if you buy the base variant, which comes with 128 GB internal storage, then you will get UFS 3.1 storage type, and in 256 and 512 GB variants you will get UFS 4.0. So that's also a thing to note. Well, according to company, it can charge from 0 to 50% in 30 minutes with a 25 watt wired charger, which you have to buy it separately because of course you won't get charger inside the box. And it also has 15 watt wireless charging and 4.5 watt reverse wireless charging, which is useless, but yeah, 15 watt wireless charging is there, so yeah, that's nice. Well, so far in my initial usage I got more than 6 hours of screen on time, so yeah, this is very surprising thanks to the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which is very efficient as well. So that also helps because this one has only 3900 mAh battery, so that is not enough to give you 6 hours of screen on time. So definitely the processor and the overall optimization of software helps to give more than 6 hours of screen on time, and I am really happy because at least 6 hours or more than that we should get in 2023 from any smartphones. And thankfully this time in S23 we get a decent battery performance. It's not worst that we can't use the phone. So yeah, that's a great improvement by Samsung. Well, as I just mentioned, the processor, which is Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, the latest processor by Qualcomm and also the most powerful which you can find on any Android smartphone. But I mean, it is built on 4 nanometer technology, so that also helps in battery performance and all. But talking about the heating issue, then I haven't noticed any heating issues yet. I recorded a video, I played 15 minutes of game. Yeah, definitely after playing COD for 15 minutes the phone get warm but not heat, so there is no major heating issues. But overall I am very satisfied with the performance. It's very snappy thanks to the overall customization, the high refresh rate and a very good snappy software, plus this processor combines all together, gives you a very great performance. So yeah, even in long run, performance is never going to be an issue for you. Well, I also did a 15-minute CPU throttle test, and one thing I noticed straight away is the heat. I mean, the frames and the overall display is getting very hot, and it's close to 43 degrees Celsius. So I know straight away that now the CPU is going to throttle, and after some time, as you can see, the CPU throttled. And at the final result, after 15 minutes of testing, the CPU throttled to 50% of its max performance. So in order to control that heat, definitely the CPU throttled, and after that you can see the temperature is now 41 and 40 degree from 42.5 and 43 degrees Celsius. So definitely the temperature is little bit down, but again, I mean, overall the average performance is also good, but CPU throttle to 50% of its max performance. Well, see, that's true that CPU throttle to the 50% of its max performance, but it doesn't mean that it's bad in terms of performance. The CPU throttle, when I did the CPU throttling test, but first let's understand, there is a Cortex X3, a high performance CPU core. Then you will find out that the clock speed of that CPU is 1 into 3.2 GHz. But in Samsung S23 lineup, that same Cortex X3 CPU core has 1 into 3.6 GHz clock speed, means higher clock speed than the normal SD Gen 2. That's why Samsung said in their launch event that they have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Samsung, so they have used the higher clock speed. And if it is a higher clock speed, then of course it will get more heat at higher performance. If you want to bring the max performance out of the S23, then definitely the phone will get heat because of the higher clock speed at higher performance cores. I mean, Samsung S23 is also a very tiny phone, so the room for heat dissipation is also very low, so of course it will get heat, and in order to maintain that heat the CPU will throttle. So it's very normal, but most of the users in normal day-to-day tasks, they won't touch the maximum performance of S23 because it's so powerful. Like if you're a gamer, then stay away from S23 because it's a small phone. So look for a bigger display phone with better heat management to play multiple hours of game. But if you are looking to do casual gaming for 15 to 30 minutes, then it's good. So yeah, don't misjudge that if CPU throttle, then it's bad in terms of performance. In case of S23, as I already said, that you won't see any major heating issues while normally using the phone. Yeah, if you will shoot videos, if you see Instagram reels, and if you play casual game, then the phone will get warm, which is very normal in all the phones because we are in India, a hot place. So yeah, that's okay. Alright, so this is the portrait video from the main camera of the Samsung S23, and this is at 4K. Well, talking about the camera specifications of S23, then it has 50 megapixel primary lens with f1.8 aperture, which gives you 24 degree of field of view. Talking about the ultra wide lens, then it has 12 megapixel ultra wide lens with 120-degree field of view, but there is no autofocus in the ultra wide lens, so you can't take macro shots. So I really wish that it could get the autofocus in the ultra wide lens, but that's not the case. And the third lens is 3x optical zoom with 70 mm field of view, and currently this video is also shooting at 3x optical zoom in the portrait video. So do let me know about the quality and the audio from this far distance. Alright, so starting with the photos, in the low light scenario you can see that Pixel 7 Pro is more brighter, but Samsung is more contrasty. Even in the ultra wide angle lens you can see that the floors and the walls are more saturated and contrasty in the S23, but that floor is yellowish, which I didn't like. So Pixel 7 Pro has better overall colors and it's more accurate as well. Now in this image definitely Samsung S23 is more brighter, but the light control is better in Pixel 7 Pro, so overall image is looking better because of that contrasty look and better light control. Here in this image also the light controls are better in Pixel 7 Pro as compared to S23. You can see that yellow light and the saturation level is definitely high in S23, but in the ultra wide image you can see that S23 is out of focus, but still the colors are the same. It's more aggressive and saturated, whereas Pixel 7 Pro has done a better overall job. Here again you can see the lighting control is better in the Pixel 7 Pro, and this time it's more contrasty as compared to S23, but S23 is more vibrant. So I noticed that Samsung will try to give more boosted colors, more punchy colors, and also sometimes it will give you contrasty, but sometimes it will give you brighter image. But Samsung needs to refine the overall camera. You can see how dramatic in this image the photo of S23 is looking, whereas Pixel 7 Pro is more close to natural. But I mean, this time in this image the lens flare is visible in both the phones, but I mean the purple sky, I don't know that from where the S23 clicks a purple sky. And again you can see this contrasty image of S23. This time I like the photo of S23 in this type of scenario, but when it comes to human skin tones, I mean definitely you can see that Pixel is now clicking more contrasty image and Samsung is clicking more whitish tone. But again in this type of images I like the image of Pixel more, because you can see the background street lights are well balanced in Pixel 7 Pro as compared to S23. Again here in this photo you can see that the background lighting management has better in the Pixel 7 Pro, although the Samsung S23 has 3x optical zoom and Pixel 7 Pro has only 2x digital zoom, so that way definitely the 3x optical zoom portrait shots are better, but overall the lighting control is better in the Pixel 7 Pro. Well, I also clicked one selfie and I will let you guys decide that which photo is looking better, so decide by yourself. Now let's come to the daylight shots. So again the story is very much similar, like Samsung will give you more boosted and ready to go type of photos and Pixel will give you more like neutral shots. So it's up onto the personal preference. In this photo the dynamic range is excellent in both the phones, but again the difference is of saturation levels. So again I mean, what type of photo you guys prefer more, the more neutral ones or the more saturated ones? Now this is the 2x digital zoom portrait shot on Pixel 7 Pro versus the 3x digital zoom on the S23, and definitely because of that optical zoom S23 gives you better results. But in this image I also like the photo of Pixel 7 Pro a lot, because again I mean I don't know, but I prefer the Pixel 7 Pro image here at 1x. Now this is the normal selfie and the image processing is very much similar. Even in the selfie camera the difference is of saturations a little bit. I mean the S23 is more saturated, but when it comes to portrait selfie definitely the edge detection is excellent in S23 and Pixel needs to work on their edge detection, but the colors of the skin tones I liked more on the Pixel 7 Pro. But when it comes to daylight shots, see, when I compare the iPhone 14 Pro with the S23 Ultra, what I noticed that the iPhone 14 Pro looks very faded and dull in comparison to the S23 Ultra, but here that's not the case. I mean I'm liking the image of Pixel 7 Pro as well as the S23, but I mean again it comes to the personal preference, like which one you prefer more, the more balanced colors or more saturated colors. Now here's the 5x optical zoom versus the 3x optical zoom of S23, and of course at 5x optical zoom Pixel has more advantage and it's looking more better, but at 10x digital zoom both phones have done an awesome image processing, and you can see that both phones are looking very well, I mean crisp, detailed, and the sharpness levels are also amazing. Even at 20x zoom both phones are looking absolutely fine, and it's really hard to pick one, so I will leave this to you. Please do let me know what you guys think, which phone is better. Now coming to the portrait, and again at digital zoom I don't know why Pixel is giving digital zoom. It's just not good. The edge detection is not good. Skin tones are not good. And the 3x optical zoom on Samsung S23 is just awesome. Even at 1x, in this particular image I will go with the Samsung's portrait. So overall definitely portrait shot is better in the Samsung S23. You can see my left hand how good the edge detection is in the S23 versus the 2x digital zoom of Pixel struggles to find the proper cutouts, and also the skin tones are not nice. At 1x definitely it's nice, but still you can see my top hand, the edge detection on S23 is better, much better than the Pixel 7 Pro. So talking about the regular daylight shots, definitely the difference is only of colors. Pixel is more well balanced, give you very correct colors, and Samsung will give you more saturated colors. So the story is very much same. In terms of dynamic range, you can see sun flare in both the images, but definitely Pixel has done a better job. Overall controlling is slightly better in Pixel 7 Pro, but again it comes to the personal preference, like which type of picture profile you like more. So at the end of the day, it's up on to the individual's preference. And now here comes the software. As I said, that the processor, software and that high refresh rate combines together give you a very good experience. So yeah, of course software is very smooth, very well polished. I really like One UI, the way the overall interface looks. I really love that. Plus it comes with latest One UI 5.1 and it has Android 13 out of the box, so that's great. And it will get 4 years of major Android updates, means Android 14, 15, 16 and 17, plus 5 years of security patches, means 1 additional year of security patches. So yeah, the way Samsung has improved its update cycles, the software support has been great on the flagship phones of Samsung. So that's really a great move by Samsung, and I really love this because if we are spending 70,000, 80,000 or even 1 lakh on a smartphone, then we deserve to get 4 years or at least 3 years and max to max 5 years of software support. So in terms of software, Samsung is ticking all the boxes correctly. Talking about the variants, then it has 3 variants. The base variant comes with 8GB RAM, 128GB storage. Then you have 256GB storage with 8GB RAM, and the top variant is again 8GB RAM and 512GB storage. So the RAM is only 8GB, not 12GB, but definitely if you want to upgrade the storage, then you can go for the higher variants as well. And as I already mentioned, that with 256 and 512GB of storage, you will get UFS 4.0. But to be very honest, you won't notice a difference between UFS 2.1 and UFS 4.0. So just for the UFS, I mean the storage type, don't upgrade. Yeah, if you really need 256GB, then you can go with the higher models. And you know what, Samsung should definitely give 256GB as the base model now, because it has 8K resolution. So if you shoot 8K videos, the 128GB is like nothing. So at least 256GB should be there in the base model. Talking about connectivity, then it has Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.3 and also of course 5G with 11 5G bands. It has NFC as well, and it has USB Type-C 3.2. Now it's time to talk about Rudra's extras. So starting with the haptics, then it is very good. Not the best, but still the haptic experience, especially while typing something on this phone, has been excellent. Now number 2, the stereo speakers are great and good enough for media entertainment purpose. So I have no problem. In fact, I enjoyed a lot watching the cricket and some other web series and animes. So it was a great experience for me. And then there is another telephoto lens. Well, Samsung called this periscope zoom lens, and this is give you. Number 3, it has an ultrasonic under display fingerprint scanner, and it's very fast and responsive. It's a flagship grade scanner, so no problem. Number 4, all the required sensors are also here. Like you can see all those sensors on the screen. Well, I also tested the multiple touch test and there is no issues at all. So while playing games, you won't face any problem. Number 6, always on display. Well, you can also customize the always on display. You can add the AR emoji and all, which looks cool, and it's really fun to play with the customizations of the always on display on the Samsung Galaxy S23. Well, personally, I don't use AOD too much because it consumes a lot of battery. Not a lot, but definitely without AOD the battery performance will perform better, and I prioritize battery performance over that cool looking AOD. So I don't use that, but it's always nice to have one in your phone. Okay, now number 7, it has IP68 dust and water resistance, and it has also armored aluminum frames with tougher drop and scratch resistance, which is advertised by the company. So yeah, this is not just normal aluminum, this is armored aluminum. Alright, so that's it from Rudra's extras. Now it's time to talk about the conclusion. See, in my opinion, this is a fantastic phone, especially if you're getting this for like 70,000 or maybe less with the offers. If you have pre-booked and if you have used the benefits of, you know, pre-reserve and all, then maybe you will get this phone for even less than 70,000 rupees. I mean, still, if you're thinking to buy this phone, let's say for 70,000 rupees, this phone is absolutely fantastic. The cameras are great, the display is awesome, the build quality, in-hand feel, and the look of the phone is already, I talked about that how much I'm in love with all these three things. And then of course the performance is top notch thanks to this new processor. This is very good, which also helps in battery life as well. So the battery performance improved a lot as compared to last year's tiny S22 and S21 models. So yeah, the battery has also performed very well on this phone. So definitely, I mean, there is no reason to ditch this phone. So if you love a small phone and if you don't want S23 Plus and S23 Ultra, if you don't care about that periscope lens or 10x zoom lens and also 1440p display and some other stuffs, then I mean, of course, you are saving a lot of money as well. The difference between this and the S23 Ultra is of like you know, almost 40 to 45,000 rupees. So I mean, this makes a lot more sense for the buyers who want a phone under 80,000 rupees with a compact form factor. I mean, you can't ask for more. This is the perfect phone for you. And even I am personally thinking of buying this phone and using it because, you know, I'm in love with this phone. The only thing which I was worried about is the battery life, which seems to be improved here a lot. It's still not the best, but definitely not the worst that you can't use it. So I guess everything has solved. So yeah guys, that's it. Go for it, don't hesitate. And that's my review. If you liked and find this video helpful, then you know what to do, right? If you're still watching this video, then please subscribe this channel and also like this video. That will, you know, help me to get more views, because Samsung no I mean, then YouTube will understand that, you know, this video is doing well, so they will push to more and more people. And if Samsung is watching this video, then maybe next time they can send me the review unit. Just joking. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. I will catch you guys in the next video. Until then, bye bye, take care.